The Nobel Prize for 2021 Literature has been announced. The novelist Abdul Raza Gurna has won the coveted prize. He won this award for his prestigious writing on the effects of colonialism and fate of refugees. With this, Gurna has become the fifth African to win this eminent award. Abdul Raza Gurna was born in Zanzibar, Africa. He was active in England. The award-giving body described his work as an uncompromising and compassionate penetration of effects of colonialism and the fates of refugees in the gulf between cultures and continents. Abdul Raza Gurna was arrived in England as a refugee in 1960s. He was a professor of English in post-colonial literature. He published a total of 10 novels that deals with colonialism, refugees and the immigrant experiences. He is the first African author to win the award in nearly 2 decades. India is facing a severe coal shortage. The coal stocks at its thermal power plant can supply just days of fuel. Union Power Minister R.K. Singh has said that the supply crunch has not yet led to any power cuts in the country. The coal supply situation is likely to be uncomfortable for up to 6 months. The average level of coal stocks at India's thermal power plant have come down to 4 days worth of stock compared to government recommendations that thermal power plant hold 14 days worth of coal stocks. On October 4th, 16 thermal power plants with a power generation capacity of 17,475 megawatts had 0 days of coal stock. What is the reason for this stock shortage? A sharp uptake in power demands as economy recovers from COVID-19 pandemic coupled with supply issues have led to the current coal shortage. India consumed 124 billion units of power in August 2021 as compared to 106 billion units in August 2019. Continuous rainfall in coal mining areas in August and September led to lower production and fewer dispatches of coal from coal mines. Now let's see the impact of coal shortage. Coal power plants make up nearly 70% of India's power source. If industries face electricity shortages, it could delay India's economic reopening. To overcome this situation, an interministerial team is monitoring the supply of coal to thermal power plants. The government is also trying to bring more mines on stream to boost the supply. Ending 68 years of government control, India's national carrier Air India has flown back into Tata Sons' fold. The Tata has won a bid for 100% stake in Air India for 18,000 crores. The deal will be closed by the end of the current year, and the Tata Sons will have to keep the airline running for at least a period of 3 years. Selling Air India is an important milestone in the ambition of current government to privatize assets. The embattled national carrier has not made profit in the last 15 years. Tata Sons already owns a majority stakes in the budget airline Air Asia India and full-service carrier Vistara. The airline was started in the year 1932 by the industrialist J.R.D. Tata. Back then, J.R.D. Tata was India's first commercial pilot. Air India ferried mails between Bombay and Karachi. The airline made commercial in 1940 and it instantly became favorite among influential Indians. In 1953, Government of India acquired the carrier and in 2001 it merged with Indian Airlines. Then began the never-ending cycle of losses. The last year alone, government spent more than 1 lakh crore rupees to keep the airline flying. With this sale, Tata Group has absorbed a great sizable portion of debt. It has unburdened the airline wings. It is giving Air India a fresh start. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched Indian Space Association on 11th October 2021, and it opens doors for Indian companies to enter space, and this is going to be a game changer for India. The creation of Indian Space Association is an industry body which brings together officials from ISRO and a clutch of private companies. Bharti Airtel, OneWeb, Map My India, Larsen and Toubro, Tata Group's Nelco, Walchand Nagar Industries and Anand Technology Limited. These private companies are also the founding members of Indian Space Association. Prime Minister Modi laid out 4 pillars and key objectives for space reforms. Freedom for innovation in private sectors, government playing the role of an enabler for the private sectors, preparing the youngsters for future space projects, treating space as a resource for progress. So the emphasis is on dramatically expanding the range of services India can offer to the world in space. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his British counterpart held talks after UK recognized India's COVID-19 vaccination certification. Two leaders discussed several issues including Afghanistan, defense, COP26 climate summit and UK-India Agenda 2030. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson hailed India's push for clean energy, saying that India is already leading the world in renewable technology. Prime Ministers Modi and Johnson noted that the progress has been made on 2030 UK-India vision. This initiative was launched during a virtual summit between the two in May this year. As per the Vision 2030, India and UK agreed to strengthen their cooperation in areas including health, climate, trade, education, science and technology, as well as defense. Prime Minister Modi will be visiting the UK to attend the crucial COP26 climate summit, which will start later this month. Expert panel recommends Indian government to inoculate children. India is going to inoculate children against COVID-19 pretty soon. India is of course currently bracing for a third wave of COVID-19 infections, and vaccinating children would be a crucial step in breaking the chain of transmission. Currently, Bharat Biotech's Covaxin and Zydus Cadila are being tested as vaccine candidates for children. Children in the age group of 2 to 18 years are eligible for this vaccination drive. Vaccine for children will be administered by the intramuscular route in 2 doses, one on the first day and another one will have to be given after 28 days. If Pfizer vaccine gets a green signal in India, then this could of course be an option for children as well. A plate of curry triggers a fight between Japan and South Korea. Japan and South Korea are fighting again, and this time it is over a plate of curry. A restaurant in Japan is serving a dish that looks like Takeshima Islands. This is a disputed territory. Both countries, South Korea and Japan, claim over these islands. So South Korea finds this dish unsavory. These two mounds of rice look exactly like the Takeshima Islands. Even though both countries consider this territory as their own integral parts. Curry takes Japan's claim. Each plate comes with a Japanese flag firmly planted in one of the mounds of rice. A professor from South Korea says Japan has used a typical cheap trick to promote its claims. North Korea lashes out at Japan, saying that the dish is specifically created from the island nation's ingrained ambition to capture the territory and exercise militarism. In 2017, South Korea has used shrimp to anger Japan. G20 on Afghanistan. G20 held a special summit on Afghanistan and three things were discussed. Humanitarian support to Afghanistan. 80 million Afghans need foreign assistance. The fight against terrorism. Under Taliban, terrorists are regrouping. Freedom of movement and open borders. Thousands of Afghans want to flee the country. G20 make up 90% of world's gross output and almost 80% of world trade and two-thirds of world's population. This summit was hosted by the current G20 chair, which is Italy, but two key players were missing, China and Russia. President Vladimir Putin and President Xi Jinping did not participate because they think G20 is interfering. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in this section and spoke on 5 specific issues. Historic ties between India and Afghanistan. India's contribution to the socio-economic growth. Prime Minister talked about the 500 plus Indian projects in Afghanistan which created jobs for Afghan women and youth. Prime Minister conveyed India's pain on Afghan people and emphasized need for humanitarian aid. Third point, to keep Afghanistan terror-free and called for a joint action against terror, drugs, arms nexus. Inclusive government in Kabul to preserve gains of last 2 decades, which means women and minorities in key government positions. PM Modi urged a unified international response to Afghanistan. Without such a strategy, it will be difficult to bring a change in Afghanistan. European Union kicked off the G20 summit with a big pledge, a $1.2 billion aid package for Afghanistan as the humanitarian aid. Will Poland leave the European Union? Europe is a continent divided between soft socialism and right-wing politics, between European Unionism and national identities. On the streets of Warsaw in Poland, some battles are going on. Last week, Poland's top court asked a big question. Which is superior, European laws or Polish laws? And the court went with the latter. It puts Poland's national laws above European. Soon speculation began. Will Poland leave the European Union? Government says it has no such plans. At the same time, it had a warning for Brussels. Respect member nations and treat them equally. This tussle is a part of long-standing dispute between European Union and Poland's ruling party. A Pandora box with 12 million documents have been opened to the world. These papers contain the details about how the world's richest and most powerful hide their wealth. Hundreds of politicians and business leaders across the world have been exposed. Reports says it is one of the biggest leaks till date. King Abdullah of Jordan, former British PM Tony Blair, Russian President Vladimir Putin. All these leaders followed a similar way to avoid taxes for their wealth acquisition and high property purchases. They bought offshore companies in tax savings, and such shell companies are often created in secret, sometimes not even in the names of their true owners, and that secrecy allows many to escape the law. Over 700 plus Pakistanis named in the Pandora Papers, including their PM Imran Khan, and more than 300 Indians have now found to have parked their money abroad. Famous Indians in the list are Anil Ambani, Sachin Tendulkar, Purvi Deepak Modi, Jackie Shroff, and Neera Radia. Indian tax officials have taken note of the revelations and they have planned to launch an investigation.